Hi, I'm Jean Lemmenes, President of the Holland Chorale. Today it's Music Monday Interlude, and we're here with Betty McLarty, our Operations Manager. Today we're going to find out a few things about Betty and help us get to know her. Betty, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is your role as the Operations Manager for the Holland Chorale?
Well, my role is basically just overseeing the day-to-day operations of the chorale and then supporting in whatever areas I can. We are a working board, so just checking in with our board members along the way, and Patrick Coyle, our artistic director, and of course you as the president. So basically, the day-to-day operations.
Very good. Yeah. You basically support us. You help us keep things going, and we really appreciate you. It's been great to have you on board.
Thank you.
Yeah. Betty, how long have you been a part of the chorale? It hasn't been too long.
No. A year ago, September 2019, I started.
Yeah. And what are some of the other things that you've done prior to that? What's some of your musical background? I know that you were a music teacher before that. So tell us a little bit about your musical background.
Of course, I started very young with elementary school, with starting with instruments and with the support of my parents, and working my way through that, and studying in college, going to Northern Illinois University, graduating at Grand Valley. Then I substitute taught, and I taught private lessons to make my way through school. And I continued that process for about 9 years. Once I got married and had children, I stayed home with them. And then I started teaching full-time in public school education, band and choir, director of music. And I retired after 27 plus years of teaching in public education in music.
Very good. So that makes you the perfect person for this position, because you understand what it's like to be a part of music and the arts in our community. And we love that you have that great background in music.
And I love having the opportunity to still be a part of a musical organization.
Yeah, wonderful. So tell us a little bit about how are you coping with the pandemic right now, and has that changed your role as the operations manager for the chorale?
I can't say it's completely changed my role as operations manager, but boy, has it shifted. And I think naturally it would anyway. It was evolving, and I was getting used to it. It wasn't a year, it was 6, 7, 8 months when this all changed for me. So I was just getting used to my role, and then it changed. And I think it will always shift and change, and that's okay. So instead of like being a sort of a stage manager at concerts and overseeing ticket sales and things like that, and just checking in with the audience and touching base with the musicians, here I was at home like everyone was. And now we have to look into the world, since we chose as chorale to continue making music during this pandemic year. Then it switched to the sort of looking for what we were supposed to do in the proper way to stream and license. And so then I entered that world. Fortunately, you and Patrick took care of all of the video and editing and putting those kinds of things out, which is an enormous task. So, I still do some day-to-day answering phone calls and responding to emails. But it did change. And then personally, we were home with no place to go.
One of the neat things about your role is that you are the first person that people quite often talk to. If they email, they'll talk to you online. If they call, they'll get you. So this is a really nice interview for us to have, so people can see who they are, who they talk to when they call. So I'm really glad to have this opportunity to do this. So let's talk a little bit more about who you are personally. Tell us a little bit about what you do during your free time.
Yeah, I had been a part of, just started, working very part-time as guest services at Tulip Time. Of course, that shut down. And I do a few volunteer things with Holland Symphony Orchestra. that I had started actually when I was still teaching as part of the education committee. And then I have 4 grandsons that I get to spend a great deal of time with. And we just love spending time with them. My family is huge, so we look forward to times that we can gather again with all of us. So.
That is wonderful. And I just love how connected you are in the community with all the different organizations that you're a part of, which also makes you perfect for your role with the Holland Chorale and why we appreciate you so much. So Betty, there's going to be a day when the Holland Chorale gets to sing live again in front of a live audience. We are so looking forward to that. What do you think is going to be the best part about that? What are you most looking forward to seeing the chorale sing live again?
Well, I think there's more than one best part about gathering live.
Right.
I just think being together in a community, the feeling that you have, the relationships that you build, besides the fact that you can work through music and work through difficult sections and then put that together and the feeling of accomplishment as an individual and as a team, and just the beauty and joy that brings to the group as well as to a live audience. And we know the benefits of music and singing and performing and the good mental health that brings and the endorphins that are released and the joy that brings. So I just so look forward to that for the group, for the chorale, as well as our live audiences.
Yes, I couldn't have said it better. Thank you. So at the beginning of this video, the people that are watching heard a song, and they're going to hear it again in just a moment as we close. And that is a song that is a favorite of yours that the chorale women sing. Tell us, what is that song, and tell us a little bit why it is your favorite.
You know, I had been with the chorale a short time, but I have had some workings with chorale in past. But this one hit me when we were doing some of our first live-ish performances in our Music Mondays. And the song was Music in My Mother's House. And it hit me not because all of the lyrics are appropriate for my mother, my parents, my particular situation, but it certainly brought on the thoughts and the emotions of how supportive my parents have been of each of their children, and for whatever areas they wanted to pursue. But many of us were in private lessons, and the financial burden that was for them, with like having 4 children out of 7 in private lessons at a time way back when, I won't reveal dates, but that was enormous support for us. And 2 of us went on to major in music, and so just think of what that meant for them. And of course it was the hymns singing and the church part of things. And we didn't have a piano in our home, but we were able to, our church supported us and we were able to practice there. And just what all of that meant as a family and as parents, and certainly my mother and my father supporting us children in our roles.
Yes, and I've talked with several other members of the chorale that have that same sentiment for that song, and I do as well. So it's a special song, and it's a perfect closing thoughts for us to have, that many of us come from musical backgrounds, and music is so dear to each of us. And that is why we do what we do. We sing for the joy that we have in music in our hearts. And we're so thankful to have you as a part of our staff and our chorale family. And thank you for being with us today for this interlude for the Holland Chorale. Thank you very much, Betty.
My pleasure.